right, and we are back with Pink World, episode 7. I'm Lexi, and today...
And I'm Maddie.
Oh, sorry. And we have another Maddie here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we have known Maddie for a while. We all were in the same class in high school, so it's really like nice for this full circle moment.
Yeah,
I
literally.
haven't seen you guys in forever.
I know. But it's really nice to have you here. And so since we kind of know like you've really been into art for like since I met you.
Literally art classes out the ass.
Yeah.
Just drawing like in class.
Me and Miss Mead.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, what inspired you kind of to start, like, and when do you think, like, that timeline kind of started for you?
Yeah, so, I mean, like you said, I've been doing it forever. I've been drawing since I was a kid, since I could hold a pencil. And I think I started to kind of recognize, like, my ability, I guess, like, my senior year. And kind of when we were like, all right, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Yeah. And originally, like, I was going to be... Like, I was applying to, like, you know, school for medicine and stuff like that. And I was like, I actually don't want to do this,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
something's off.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to go to school for, like, 8, 12 years, you know? And so I kind of was like, I made this piece, and it's called Love is Sweet as Wine. And that was when I was like, oh, my gosh, like, I have nice talents, I guess. Yeah. And I really loved the piece. So I talked to Miss Mead, and I was like, I think I'm going to switch it up. So I applied to art school, and I put a portfolio together within, like, 4 months. And that was when I did, like, the photo shoots and stuff like that. And, yeah, that was kind of it for me. And I made an art, Instagram account for my art and just kind of started posting after just kind of, like, holding it in for a little bit and being like, I actually really like this stuff. Yeah. So that's where it all started.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you think you have any like influences, like people wise or like pieces that you've seen?
Yeah. There's this one artist. Her name is Silver Francis. She is the creator, I guess, of this style called fluid impressionism. And her artwork is, like, super bold and bright, and, like, her dedication to her art is, like, nothing I've ever seen. And it kind of reminds me, like, if you've ever had a psychedelic experience, her, like, just the breathing of, like, nature and just, like, very, very alive feeling of her work, that definitely inspires me for, like, all my, like, bright colors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'm, like, trying to think of, like, you said, like, so the, like, whole psychedelic experience, like, that's what really, like, draws you to make, like, what you make, too, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've had a few psychedelic experiences, and, before that happened, like, I was very afraid, and I was like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it really just kind of kick-started, like, I felt very grounded and stuff, and, like, very expressive. So that's what kind of like kickstarted like my creations and stuff. And like I know a lot of my pieces have to do with like, divine unions between like relationships and stuff. And like my latest piece between like the blue and yellow, like the butterfly woman, that was inspired by like the love that I feel in my partnership who I'm with now.
Oh, that's
so
so
nice.
Yeah, I really feel like I've met like the one.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love that for you. So, yeah, there's a lot of spirituality, I guess you could say, like, embodied in your art.
Yeah.
Can you speak about, like, your spiritual journey?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so my spiritual practices, they are very important to me. And, meditation and sitting with yourself and, calming down those conversations and stuff and just being like, just kind of sitting and being quiet and meditating and, yoga and things like that, all to kind of just settle down, your lifestyle and whatever. And I used to be, religious. I grew up religious and I stepped away from that. And, just now into spiritual practices. And I feel like it ties a lot into like mental health too. And I feel like,
definitely.
Like a lot of like, what is preached today is like, run to the doctor, like, get medicine and stuff like that. And I struggled with anxiety like for a long time. And I never wanted to be on medicine and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's what kind of like my spirituality and then dealing with mental health, I feel like they merged.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of like, breathing work and things like that. So
which is like the most helpful, honestly. Like kind of like you said, like people really push like medicine and like stuff like that when you have things like that. But I feel like, I mean, personally for me, but like, obviously you're saying that, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to like a more like holistic approach, especially since like the world's kind of dominated by like pharmaceuticals and like you have to do this and that, and like people should be focused more on like spirituality or like their mind and like stuff
I'm
like
actually
that.
like working on a piece about that soon, like how we trust pills more than plants, or we know medicine more than we know
Herbs
about nature.
and,
Exactly, like natural remedies. And so that's bringing awareness, so that's important to me.
Yeah. I can see that like all throughout your work.
Yeah,
It's amazing, honestly.
It's kind of like a nature-y like vibe at the same time as not. I wanted to ask, like, do you have like a direction you kind of want to go, or you kind of just
Am I
like
speaking too softly? Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Okay,
just
okay.
maybe a little bit closer because you do talk very low.
Sorry.
But
Yeah, you do.
I can be the same way. In certain
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you
No,
saying?
you're good. I was just gonna ask, like, do you have like a certain direction you want to go, or you kind of just have like your baseline, like kind of like just the way you like to create, and you kind of just do what you want?
Yeah. So I think with my like earliest pieces, it started off with trying to express like self-love and like empowering yourself to love yourself, and I think that's kind of what I started with, and lately I've been exploring like how deep, how expressive can I be, and that's kind of what like phase I'm in right now.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to make an impact with my work, and like what drives me as an artist is to like give back, I guess. And like recently I did the period product drive for Rosie's Place, and like that was really important to me to be able to use my craft to give back to causes that I feel are important.
Yeah, and do you want to elaborate a little on like what that project was?
Yeah, so that was when I started doing fairs for the first time this summer, and that was one of my goals for 2022. I was like, all right, you've been behind social media,
it's time to get out there and network.
And being at those fairs, it makes it feel even more real what you're doing, and you really get to talk to people, and you're just like very confronted with, this is what I made, and someone's like, I want it, So that was really nice. And at those fairs, this was I started in June, and then the fundraiser was in July. So what we did was I created 3 like stickers, and they were about bringing awareness to, women don't have free access to menstruation products. And I feel like that's why. Like, why don't
literally why?
Why? It's something so like natural for us. It should be provided. And so I did 3 stickers, and I sold them through all the art fairs that I was at, and all of the money I used to buy products, and I sent care packages to Rosie's Place.
I love that.
So cool.
I really love that.
It was really,
so cool.
I want to do it again. I really loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like tell me a little bit more about like the role you want to play with your voice, like in feminism and like movements for women.
Yeah, so I want to do more work with that, and it's always kind of been a theme throughout my work. It's, female empowerment and just trying to say, like, we need to love ourselves because, self-confidence and self-love is so, so important for women. And, the conversations that we have with ourselves, it starts within. And if you say, I'm not good enough, I can't get this job, that script is applied to every area of your life. Like, I'm not good enough to wear that outfit. I'm not good enough to get that job. I'm not good enough to even apply for that job. I'm not good enough to be in this room full of creatives. So I think just trying to empower our confidence and empower, our love for ourselves really makes us bigger than we are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And Do you think so I've seen you've done a lot of commissions. How do you like doing that? And also like do you like get to choose them? Like say somebody asks you to do something, like you can kind of put like your own spin on it. So like say you want it to be like that type of theme. Can you do that?
I have a love-hate relationship with commissions. I really love creating pieces and selling them, but I love creating for people as well and help bringing their vision to life. It's stressful, but it's important, and it's something that I love. So, I'm sorry, what was your question again?
Like, basically, like, what is it like for you, like, doing commissions, and do you feel like it's good, like, in the way, like, you can put your own, like, artistic flair on it, or does it kind of, like, feel like maybe restricting at times? You know?
So usually what happens is someone will message me and ask for a piece, and I can show them like similar pieces, like is like, we go through reference photos and we're like, okay, so we want it this style and we want it, this is who's going to be in it. This is what I want. I want bright colors. I want dull colors. I want black and white. And I think, I'll never walk away from my own style when I'm creating a piece for someone. And that's why I'm always like, will they like it? Is it good enough?
But and that's also why they come to you, because they trust your vision.
Yeah, that's important. But
do you have like a favorite commission you've been asked to do?
Oh my God, favorite commission. I really love tattoo commissions. Those are my favorites.
That's dope. I'm gonna have to come to you for that. I've like said that before. I think
I love tattoo commissions. And that's kind of like another thing I'm working on. I'm trying to put a tattoo portfolio together, because I started off with body art and just like painting on people, drawing on people, and just drawing on myself. And it's something that I love to do. So what I'm creating the portfolio now, and to try to get the gears turning a little more, like I do like these exercises for tattooing and stuff like that. And I love it.
That's dope.
I want to talk a little bit about, I know you mentioned how you practice a lot, like drawing on people, painting on yourself, things like that. I remember one of the first like big things, one of the first like big steps you made, I would say, was I think like our senior year in high school. And you came out with like a photo shoot with like all like so many different like girls in our school. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so dope. Like literally it was so sick. So I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I think that was so amazing.
Like I said, my senior year was kind of the turning point, and I was like, my heart is telling me like what I need to do, and I've always had that like fight of like what society says about artists and what they should do, and like how I feel I can move, through my career. And so senior year I did the photo shoot, and
how was it like putting it together? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
So I invited like all my friends, and they all came, and I got to paint on them, and it was just a super like love yourself. Like this is so important to embrace who you are, and try to build up your confidence. And so I had everybody come, and we did the shoot, and I put I think one photo from that photo shoot, video shoot, into my portfolio. It was really nice. And I did another one where I had, my first shoot was actually a glow-in-the-dark one. And I had, like, glow-in-the-dark
I think I remember paint. That,
and I had one shoot from that. And that was, like, so I've kind of done a little bit of everything with, like, videoing and, like, photography. And I've kind of been, like, I guess the director behind all, because I have this, like, super clear vision of how I want it all to look. And, I've been just kind of slowly bringing it to life.
Super cool.
That's dope.
I love that.
Kind of another thing relating. So I remember Stubborn Sal, he did Galaxy Zone, which was his release. It was like a release party. So you were doing like live art for that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So that was last May, right?
I believe so.
So in May, because I think I got COVID after that.
Like everybody popped out to
like, yep, I remember that.
Could have been the concert I went to after too, but yeah, that was the weekend. Yeah, I remember now. That was in May. He invited me to come live paint, and that was my first live painting event that I've ever done. And so I was like really nervous, and I was trying to put together like, oh my, what am I gonna do for this? You know, super anxious. But I painted this piece, and it's called Enigma's Gift, and it's of kind of like an alien or entity, like Sal was saying.
I was just about to say that.
I really don't have a description of this being, but it's a being. And
entity is a good word.
Yeah, and he's holding like kind of just like a capsule of jellyfish, and that's why it's called Enigma's Gift. And you can kind of interpret it how you want. Like, was it taken from Earth? Was it given to us? Something like that.
That's dope.
Thank you.
That's
so
cool.
I painted that throughout the night and a little bit before, just so I can get like the under layers and stuff like that. But that was really fun.
Did you get like good feedback from like your audience? Like how was it? Like
just
like,
when they turned like the camera towards me and they were like, introduce this piece, and like everybody clapped. I was like, oh my God, like I had never had that before. So that was really, really nice. And it's going to be, so my partner posed for that photo for me, and it's going to be on one of her singles coming out soon.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, she helped me name it.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, also, like, do you want to do, like, album covers and stuff like that, album artwork?
I've never, like, actively like sought out to do it before, but my partner is an artist, and she's done an album before, and she was like, I really love this piece, like, can I have it for my album? And
I love that.
Of course. So I would love to do cover art, because I feel like my work is very like almost like graphic design, very fine line, very expressive, representational. So yeah, definitely on the goal for 2023.
Yeah, I love that. And obviously you're very creative. And I feel like nowadays people kind of are going more towards that like bright colored like type of album artwork, like really eye-catching, but like also has to do with like the music. And I feel like you can capture like an essence like in your art. So that would be really cool to see. Yeah.
I love when, music artists use like actual artists for their, cover pieces. Like my favorite artist, 070 Shake. I've seen like a lot of her pieces come from kind of undiscovered artists. And
that's dope.
Yeah, so, it kind of gave me hope, like, oh my God, maybe, you actually can do this.
Yeah. Was that a dream? Like, you could do her album artwork?
Oh my God, stop.
Yes.
That would be so dope.
I know.
You could do it. I mean.
Yeah. Definitely cool.
So I want to go back in time a little bit and talk about your experience with going to school in New York for art.
Oh, yeah. So, that was the portfolio I was putting together, and I applied to a bunch of schools, and New York University gave me a nice scholarship, but I still had to pull a lot of strings to get there, and I went there 2019, and I dropped out March of 2020, and I just felt like, what I can do with my art career, I feel like I don't need to be in art school for it, and I don't need to be pulling strings and going broke just to be here, Every opportunity that I've had, I've created myself. Yeah. And I don't feel like I need anybody else to open the door for me. I feel like that's all up to me.
Yeah, and your work will speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a degree, not time in school. Like, it's your work that carries your career.
Yeah, I have this, like, love-hate relationship with school, and like the idea of getting a degree, and like how
I feel that
like how hard it's like pushed on us that like you have to go to school after high school. You have to student debt's okay, like leaving high school with like 60 grand is fine, like you'll pay it off. Like that doesn't happen.
No, and that's just fucked up to me, like that's just like the really mindset that's been created, especially for our generation. But like I feel like also our generation is kind of like gonna be the one to overcome that and kind of like show that creative people like and it's like a thing, like we've talked about it here too, like we're doing creative stuff here, and like you said, we're making our own opportunities here, like you don't need a degree for this type of thing, like you really don't.
And what you said about our generation, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people I know who are stepping away from the traditional path, and like that's so inspirational and important to me. And it's scary because, like, it's all you. And so you open all your own doors. And I feel like, you know, people who want to study business, like I wanted to study business. And, like, I was like, why would I go to a school and spend 4 years there learning about business from someone who doesn't even have a business? Like, I would rather mentor with someone and learn from them, like, because it's just, you know, it does, you don't have any relevance while you're in school, but when you're shoved into it and you're like, I need to know this now, show me the steps. Yeah. You learn so much more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like in the works right now?
Yeah, so I have a series coming up. I feel like I'm in this very this like space of just exploring, and I feel like I'm forcing myself to make a lot of shitty work to kind of like dig deep into what I can actually do. So I'm spending some time doing that and really sitting with myself for what I come up with. And I have a 3-piece series now, and the first piece was inspired by this painting called, I think it's called Gizmonda, and she's holding like the heart of her lover who died, who was killed. And so in this piece, like, it's a self-portrait, and you know, the meaning of that one doesn't relate to mine, but I'm holding my own heart, and it's just like, and like there's flowers coming out of my chest, and it's just kind of like very gruesome, like breaking open. Like, I've been telling myself, like, let go to receive for the past, you know, what month we're in October. Since like last year. Since like last year. And, you know, that's where my spiritual practices come in. Like, everything I've been doing is like non-attachment, you know, letting go, and I feel like that's opened a lot of doors for me. And so this next piece is kind of, you know, I'm exploring. It's very, very different from what I'm usually used to making. And I'm hoping to put it into some exhibitions and galleries, and I'm, you know, working with someone right now to try to get that going for next year.
That's so dope. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, literally. That's what's up. When did you like first like, how did you know that you wanted to take it the self-love route, the empowerment route? Like, what drove you to like be like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm about. This is what I want to like make my artwork based upon.
I think it had to do with like, you know, a lot of internal struggles. Like, you know, you have a lot of self-doubt, you know, you have a lot of insecurities. And so I think, you know, while I was making that work, I was also, it was just, you know, self-expression, you know, like I'm sending out this message because it's a message that I also need from me.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of started it all.
That's cool.
Do you have any like goals for the future with your
goals
art?
for 2023?
Yeah. So like I said, I want to complete that series. And put that in, and you know, put that into some galleries and stuff, and definitely try to be in those spaces. You know, art fairs was my goal for this year, and I did it. And I put myself there, and I was vulnerable. And so my goal for next year is definitely just try to be more present in those spaces. And another goal that I have is I want to finish my portfolio for like a tattoo apprenticeship. And I had
that's so
that's
I had I was apprenticing with someone my god, what year was it? Like 2020, but that, you know, fell through. So I'm really hoping to get back into it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You have some tattoos, right?
I do. Yeah, I do.
What, you have a butterfly.
I have butterflies really down my back, and then I have, you know what synchronicities are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 333 behind my ear.
I love that.
Yeah, and then I have this one on my arm is how rare and beautiful it is truly is to exist, and it's a song called Saturn by Sleeping at Last, and I heard it like high school years. So yeah.
That's super cool.
And I wanna get so many more. Like I want to do like my arms. Oh my god, you know. But
yeah,
it's expensive.
Yeah,
it is. But if you can do them like on yourself
know,
too,
right?
like would you ever think about like doing them on yourself?
Yeah. Oh my god. And I want to design all, like I you know, I designed these and I you know, picked out the font, I guess.
Yeah.
My arm pieces. But I want to do my arms and I want to design all of them. And I designed 2 pieces for someone, and like just to see like my work on someone like permanently.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa.
So, I can only imagine.
Yeah. So if I could be like the designer of the, you know, the work and then also place it on somebody permanently, that's like kind of dream as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Do you think your art like has anything to do with like inspiring like your fashion sense? Like, do you feel like you obviously have a very distinct style? Do you think like your art kind of inspires you to like the way you dress and stuff like that?
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel more expressive. Like I put them on clothing and stuff, and like my work, I'm trying to get them on clothing, and I'm starting, you know, like painting on fabric and stuff. And I kind of like painting on fabric more than canvas. It's so much brighter and it holds.
Is that
better.
like a new interest for you?
Yeah. I just started painting on fabric, and it's been going really well. And like the pieces that I bring to the fairs are, you know, they're all painted, hand painted and stuff. And I feel like the self-love route with all of my work definitely has like impacted me personally too. And because, you know, I would have never worn these earrings years ago.
Yeah.
I was very like, you know, just hiding in baggy clothing and, you know, just not showing myself, not taking up space, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I have, you know, through my work, it's also impacting me to the point where I can also be self-expressive and take up space and feel maybe bigger than I am.
Yeah.
I love that. I know that. That's a great message. Like,
yeah.
So it's been a nice journey.
I love to see that. I really do.
What's your favorite? I know you were talking about like the different types of art that you do: fabric painting, canvas painting.
Yeah.
I'm not too fluid in like the terms, but like, what's your favorite?
It's okay because I'm not either. You know, like I went to art school for 8 months, and it was more like video and like, you know, wood shop. Like I didn't
digital stuff.
Yeah, like I didn't do any like drawing or painting, and I kind of was like, why am I spending all this money? You know, to be here. You know, I'm not learning. So I guess I don't really know like the specific terms for my own favorite art, and that's kind of what I'm exploring now. Like really trying to broaden my knowledge about my own craft
that's
and not
cool.
just paint.
Yeah.
What's your favorite like way to like do? Like I said, I'm not fluid. Like what's your favorite way to create art? Like canvas, whatever. Like
I really like acrylic painting, and I've been getting into like fluid pours and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that you do like acrylic pours.
I've tried to do everything, and I'm you know still experimenting. Like I want to try oil painting soon. I've never painted.
Dope.
No, that's a lie. I did do one oil painting in
high school.
I hated it.
In high school, I hated they
it.
make you go through all that, like at least once. I
Start
feel.
with the watercolors.
Yeah,
you go on.
Love watercolors.
No,
watercolors are the best.
No, literally. I love when people make them like look like people think watercolor, you think like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, but when people make watercolor look sick, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very like mistaken for acrylic paint, or like you're able to, you know, do acrylic work in a watercolor form.
Yeah.
And so I that's, you know, the form, I guess, or style that I like is mostly like acrylic paint. And, you know, the fluid pouring is what I've been experimenting with lately. And I like it a lot because, you know, I guess I consider myself like a perfectionist, and I'm trying not to be because
it's more abstract type of art.
Yeah, like it puts me into a box, and I don't want to, you know, stare at a line for like 5 hours.
Yeah, literally.
But, you know, fluid pouring, it, you know, each piece is its own, and, you know, you really just have to give up your control. And I feel like that's been kind of helping me be a little more expressive in my work.
Yeah. I love that everything having to do with art seems like a spiritual, like expressive way to like, you know, practice certain things that you want to practice. Even with like an acrylic pour, bro, like nobody's thinking about, I'm looking at this, like I need to like let go of my control that I have over my art. Like, but you just did. And I'm like, yo, that's mad, like inspiring. No, like for real.
Because it's just relating back to your life. So it's just all the more like, I don't even know the word, like connected. Like you must feel like extremely connected to your art, whereas you can like use it in your everyday life and kind of like even coping mechanism type things.
Well, that's why art therapy is like such a huge field, and it's so important because it's all self-expression. It's all, you know, you pour your heart on the canvas. It's so important to you, and that's why, you know, pieces can be valued so high. And like like, you know, these pieces that take me months to do, I'm a completely different person from when I started it to when I finished. And it's kind of like an evolution of that journey of, you know, going back and forth, what I liked about it, what I didn't, what I was going through at the time, what I was thinking, you know what I mean? So the evolution, the journey of each painting is, you can see it.
For sure.
And did you, I remember when you were first like starting, you had like a lot of pieces of like drawing women or drawing like, you know, people. And now do you think you've kind of moved away from that, or are you trying to like perfect that? Are you like kind of like, oh, I'm gonna leave it like where it's at, I'll come back to her later, let me do this like first? Or
I've always, you know, figure drawing has always been like, I guess, centerpiece of what you know, all of my pieces are about. And that's what my new series is too. It's kind of like the vulnerability of us at the mercy of nature. And so that's kind of the connection of that is what's shown in this next series. And so I guess, you know, what your question, like I'm perfecting that really and trying to get better at, you know, painting, you know, people and our bodies, and getting really good at painting skin and things like that.
Because I like that you paint them and they're very realistic. It's not just like curve, like it's like, you know, people got bulges, people got you know, people got lumps and everything. Like I love that you incorporate that in your art.
I've always loved that too about yours, because a lot of people just they don't. It's like one size fits all type thing, and it's just like very inclusive.
Yeah, well, that's something like I struggled with. Like, you know, I go into like these like shops like Urban Outfitters, and they got like little triangle shirts, and I'm like, what am I what am I gonna do, you know?
There's not enough representation for the curvy girl.
There's not enough representation. And so, you know, it's all just about embracing your body, you know what I mean, and just kind of loving all the things that you don't love, or the things that you pick out and you're like, I don't like that, you know. And you know, I don't, you know what you don't like about yourself, I don't even see it, you know. And I love what you don't like, you know what I mean. Like I think you're beautiful the way that you are, and you're probably like, oh my god, I have a pimple here, and I got this mark here, and they're gonna notice it, and I'm like, I don't see it like that.
Like I don't even notice. It's like people only notice their own flaws, and like to the next person it's not even considered a flaw.
I always think about that too. Very, very nice, inspirational. Like I don't know the word for it, but it's really just cool to see how everything just relates back, you know.
And how like, I don't know, like I keep using the word spiritual. I want like a better. I'm like, brain, find a better word, bro. Like, come on, figure it out. But like, it's like that's like the main, like that's the centerpiece of like I feel like all your work.
Really?
And when you're talking about it, it's like like I feel like that acrylic pour thing was just crazy to me. I was like, damn. Like she was like, yep, I'm losing my control over this piece. Like I was like, damn. I would have been sitting there like
they would be like, whoa, this looks kind of sick.
Well, that's like the best part. And you know, I guess I mean I don't really have like a name or like a special style. Special style.
No,
for
but
my
you
work.
did mention, who was that? I forgot her name, and
Silver Francis.
Silver Francis, like her style. What was that style that you said?
It's a style she created called fluid expressionism.
Yeah, I like that.
And I had never seen it before. She's an oil painter. I had never seen it before, and I was like, oh my god, I love this so much. It just I guess like
a lot of it's inspired by that, but you're not putting yourself in that box.
Okay. Like her stuff is, you know, the work is breathing. It's very alive to me, and like I love creating work, you know, that kind of connects us to nature too. And you know, I do a lot of like Mother Nature pieces, and things like about the universe and stuff like that, just like kind of exploring where we sit in relation to all of these things.
Yeah.
It's more than art.
It's always more.
It's always more than art.
I
love that. What tips do you have for someone that would want to get into painting or like, I can't even say painting, but visual art.
Tips I have, I would say you just kind of have to throw yourself into it. The more you think about it, the more you sit, and I have to stop this, it's my own habit too. Like, you kind of just got to do it. You can't sit and be like, all right, I'm just going to, think about this piece for a few months or let it sit. And I do that. But I would say, find someone who you want to learn from, or, find these like YouTube tutorials or whatever, and start getting into it. Post your stuff. Like, people want to see your work. People want to see what you have to share. And, just kind of hiding forever, you might not be, doing it. You might be doing a disservice to yourself or for your passion and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I told myself in terms of, like, leaving art school and, like, just kind of figure out how I want to navigate my own career. So, I would tell someone, go for it. And, it starts with you. You create your own opportunities. You open the door for yourself. It's really important that, you are the creator of your life, and you can't just kind of sit sideline waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to come, waiting for someone to recognize you. You need to open the door for yourself and be like, I'm here. I have something to offer. Yeah.
I love that. Mic drop.
Mic drop moment for real.
I
don't know. Do you have anything else like important you kind of want to add? I feel like you've been spitting. So.
You've been spitting.
I don't really know what to talk about. I mean, it's been I never would have imagined myself here. Like, you look back, when we were in high school together?
Almost 4 years ago.
What the heck, you think back to where you were 4 years ago, and you're like, this wouldn't have, I didn't see myself being here, I never saw myself sitting across from you guys. Like, I remember sitting across from you guys in class.
In the lunchroom, like, literally.
We all at the lunch
I never would have
table.
thought that we would have been here doing an interview like this, or, studio, you know what I mean? So that's really crazy to me and your goals, like, where you will be, next year, next week, next month, tomorrow. Those are very important to hold to yourself, because you have no idea. So, like, you just got to dream big and keep evolving yourself and working on yourself, because, and that's really important to me too, creating these habits that help me grow and just keep trying to be, like, the best version of myself that I can. Like, I'm just like, who do I have to become? What kind of moves do I have to make to be the person that gets to have these gallery moments? You know what I mean? And so, like, that's why, keep growing is so important to me, because the person that I was, like, yesterday or last week
is in the same
is
person.
not going to reach the goal that I want for a year. So I have to keep, pushing myself harder and harder.
Evolving every day.
Yeah, seeing what I can tweak about this or my work or myself, and get myself there.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
I know.
You have some words of wisdom. And I love
Thank
it.
you.
And you speak very well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my God, I feel like I'm, like, shaking.
Oh
nervous.
no, you are not coming off that.
Not at all.
Oh my God.
At all. You're far from
thank
that.
you.
No, thank you. Honestly, this was a really great interview. Really happy to have you here. Honestly, this is just again like a full circle moment, and I love these type of moments.
Yeah, it's so good
bringing
to see
back
you
the
guys.
nostalgia.
For real.
Bringing her back. But all right, we will see hopefully a lot more of you in the studio in the future. Also,
so
just
have
like
another listening party.
Yes.
Another live painting, maybe some cover art for the gang. Like,
Facts,
you never know.
Though, facts.
Exactly.
You never know.
You want to tag like your socials so people can go and see your art?
Yeah, follow her.
Do I just have to say it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. My Instagram is MadsArtxx, and then my portfolio page is Behind the Sun.
On Instagram?
On Instagram.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll tag them in the description.
Yeah, it's kind of
too,
the same for every other social platform. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. It was great to see you.
Yeah.
Thank
This
you
was
guys.
a really good one.
Yeah.
I love this.
And that's a wrap. Pink
And
World.
that's a wrap. People, we out. We'll see you next week.